I was like,
but what actually made you want to leave the UK in the first place? Coming from East London, had you visited here before you had the job?
No.
Are there any other challenges that you would say as a Nigerian, as a Brit, as a female? So you've got quite a lot of experience working and traveling in different places, right?
Yeah. Like the way I spoke it into being, you know, where you from is the big question here. Well,
by the way, Nigerians have a lot of businesses here.
From London to Lagos to the Middle East, this is Black in Dubai, unpacking life, business identity, and everything Black in the UAE. My name is Kai. I'm your host, the founder of Black Girl in Dubai, the hub and space that promotes the Black and African community, culture, and over 100 businesses right here in the UAE. And today, we have an amazing, beautiful, gorgeous model, creative, educator here in the studio with us. Without further ado, please get excited to hear more about Sanya Laren.
hi there, Kai, from Black Girl in Dubai.
How are you?
Oh, good. I'm very well. Fancy seeing you here. I know. It's always a pleasure.
Now, you and I have been friends for some time now. You've been here probably about 5 or 6 years, right? It's Dubai. And I'll let you tell the story if you like, but please tell us a little bit more about yourself and why you moved from East London to Dubai and what that's like.
Hi, I am Sanya Laren, and I wear many hats. I am a singer-songwriter, a model, and an educator. So I create and educate. I moved to Dubai initially in January 2019. And I taught for 3 years performing arts in various schools. And then I left Dubai. So this is actually Dubai phase 2 because I left for about 1 year and 4 months and then returned and did not teach anymore. So I returned.
Right.
I kind of pivoted in my career. Which is why
when you first came, you were doing like drama, but to very young children, like from the UK. Drama is a thing that you do much later, for maybe like year 9, year 10, year 11. Or for anyone who's from America, like 9th grade, 10th grade kind of thing. But when you came to the UAE, you were doing it with very little, like 5, 6-year-olds.
Yes.
Right.
Which was a whole different skill set, a whole different language. In terms of the vocabulary that you use and the way that you position yourself as a teacher, the type of teacher that you are, it's very different. And I was doing very young children, but I was also doing the older children as well, teaching older children.
I didn't even know that was a thing until I met you.
Yeah.
So do a lot of schools out here do that, or do you find it was like a specialized thing at that time and then you went down that route? Because how was it maneuvering from the first job that you got to then moving around in other schools and spaces?
Yeah, good question. So in the UK, I'm trained as a secondary and further education teacher. So that's the college space, the space between school and university. So coming here and getting the job, a job as a drama teacher in a new school at a time, I wasn't so aware. Like I knew there'd be some primary teaching and there'd be some younger children, but it was literally from nursery or kindergarten.
Wow.
Say here, so from 3 all the way right through to the teens.
And what was that like?
It was
complete different world, it sounds like, because, and then not a little bit, it sounds like it was a large part of your role from what I remember.
Yes, yeah, it was. I would teach, I'd see every student once a week, and teaching the younger ones, I had to expand my skill set. I had to think about the vocabulary I was using. I had to look at the curriculum for primary drama because it's big international schools here and they want children to be exposed to as much as possible from as young as possible. So that was art as well. I remember myself and the art teacher having conversations like, this is so new, it's so different. Behavior management, like I said, vocabulary, the curriculum, the goalposts you want them to hit, and when the assessments, it was very different. But I grew to love it. You know, young children are very endearing. They absorb everything. They watch you and admire you, and they're very loving. And you know, I just felt like, you know, there was always like a kid on my attic and on my arm, and they're very, very warm. And it was it became enjoyable, but it was very challenging initially. Of course, having this timetable where you've got so year one or kindergarten 2, which is like 5-year-olds, and then in the next 50 minutes you're going to teach grade 8 teenagers, hormones, you know, there's these kind of going through puberty, mood, you know, their music, vocabulary is very different topics, different levels of learning, and different. It was it looked very different to teaching young children.
And then I guess just into the older lot of them might have been doing exams.
Exactly. So with the younger ones, it was storytelling, it was movement, it was basic expression, and looking at expressing different emotions and facial expressions, stories and characters. With the older ones, we got a lot deeper into it. It's scripts, it's characterization on a whole different level. It's so much more in depth, as you can imagine. So and more of what I was used to. So that was just a connection to me.
And I'm thinking, obviously, coming from the UK, people may want to do it with their children at a very young age, but it's definitely outside of school. That's why it's not inside school. And yes, there's carpet time and story time and things like that, but it wasn't so much drama lessons, performing arts lessons in school and stuff like that.
Unless you're putting your child in a specialist performing arts school, or they're going to classes from a performing arts school on the weekend, after school clubs, etc. So yeah, very different.
So that might have been exciting. Do you feel like you came across any young stars at that really young age, or was it like way too early to tell?
Because there are always kids that like stand out where you're like, this is one's got like a different level of expression, or their speech is really good. They're really, their cadence is like really advanced. So there's always, from young right to the older ones, you get those young people that stand out in terms of, sometimes it's like their imagination and the stories that they come up with, or the way they're able to embody a character, for example.
Right.
So no, from young, you still spot those ones that you think, okay, there's something here there. And then sometimes there isn't, and you get these like really shy kids, but then you see the development through a term, academic year, and you think, okay, there's also something that's just not as it needs to be brought out. So that's what I challenge myself to do, like to really make sure that the quiet kids, the shy ones at the back, they're not left out. They don't go unnoticed, and I still give them as much of my energy and attention as the ones that are kind of like already shining stars, or they're very naturally gifted in the arts. Yeah.
So I mean, educator is a bit different, or a lot different to what you might have thought the role was initially when you first came out and getting into that. But what actually made you want to leave the UK in the first place? Coming from East London to Dubai, what made you say then, because this is pre-COVID times.
Yes.
So what made you want to jump ship and say, I'm going to try something new with younger kids and a different type of teaching?
So the initial thought was that I want new surroundings. I felt quite bored and uninspired at the time when I really made the decision seriously to leave the UK. But to be honest, from about 5-10 years before, when I started traveling more, I had a good feeling that I would end up moving out of the UK.
Had you visited here before you had the job?
No.
So you literally just moved when you got the job offer?
Yes.
And just said, I'm just going to try it out?
Yes, I was because it had been on my mind for about 5 years that, okay.
Dubai specifically, or just leaving the UK?
Leaving the UK.
To somewhere?
To somewhere. somewhere.
So were you looking about anywhere else, like in the region, or just like maybe Spain or somewhere?
I was also looking at spending some time working in Nigeria, actually. I was looking at some schools in Nigeria. And unlike Dubai, drama isn't as much as a popular subject in schools.
Right.
And if it is, a lot of schools won't offer it from primary. And to be honest, it weren't this thing where I'm like, no, I want to try primary teaching. I just wanted to step outside of the UK for work, experience living and working somewhere else in doing what I love doing, which is teaching performing arts. So to gain a position in that subject area in Nigeria, it wasn't impossible, but I just weren't seeing the job posts, and also searching to look at what schools actually have drama in their curriculum. It's still a thing where it's not on all curriculums. Not many students choose it for GCSE. Some schools don't offer it. So you do have specialist performing arts.
I chose it, actually. I was scared to choose using it. Ultimately is what I ended up doing and being out here later independently. But drama was one of those, it was kind of like a safe option. I loved it, but it was more of a safer option than actually using the microphone and getting on stage and sing.
Yeah, I bet. I didn't choose music or drama.
Really?
We just so...
That's crazy.
I know. I love them in school, but subject-wise, I don't know why. It was something more... It was something, I think, because of... I don't know if it's partly cultural. I just didn't feel like as a subject, it was more outside of school or outside of class. So I'd be on stage often when it comes to the end of year performances, but in school, like studying them, I don't think I loved studying them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In terms of the curriculum, the class, not that was to say the teachers, it's not even that, but I just weren't exposed to the subjects enough. Like I actually chose art because I loved most things creative, I love art.
That makes a lot of sense.
So it was art, and then and then I went on to London College of Fashion and done 2 years, and then I was like, no, I really like the performing arts. It felt like it was like a pull. It was cool. It was calling me. I just wanted to perform and express. Yeah. So
well, you are a creative and an educator, so yes, the outside of it, but still now you release music. You are very, and even just knowing this, literally you said it, doing the fashion school and also doing art makes perfect sense, because there were so many things. She's like a little interior designer. Yeah. There's so many things that you had the eye for, and that literally comes together so well. Yeah. We'll get onto the creative stuff in a little bit, but what was it like when you first came to Dubai? Like, now that you hadn't visited and you've accepted this job, and again, pre-COVID, what was your impression like then compared to what you would say it's like now?
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I was thinking about it for years. From when I got serious about it and made the decision, no, it's time. I want to go. I'm ready to go. I need something new inspiration, a new circle, a new environment. And then within 3 months, I secured a role.
That's really quick.
Yeah, within 3 months, when I got serious about it, within 3.
Where were you looking, or were there any particular things that you found really successful, like specific recruiters or?
Yeah, TES.
That's great for teachers.
Yeah, it's really good. Teacher, there's one called Expats, Teach Abroad.
Okay.
Teach Away. So I got really, I set out my alerts. I was looking every day. And then it happened. And I'd done some research. I didn't even know anyone here to say but I did get busy on social media and start connecting with people that were in Dubai. I'd done a bit of research, but I came here quite blind, considering I was coming to, I looked at the job, I looked at the school, I looked at the area, and then I was like, I'm good to go. I'm just gonna go. I was very excited, and I got here, and what was it like?
I was gonna say, was it what you expected, whatever that was? Because obviously not having been here before, it's never going to be what you thought it was, if that makes sense. Yeah. But do you think it met your expectations?
Yes, partly because the area I lived in was very different to the areas that I had researched, which was like,
I remember your first apartment, actually.
Yeah.
Can I say?
Well, yeah,
In Lodz City.
Yeah.
Huge front room, huge balcony.
Yes, huge.
Yeah, you really do.
Probably like,
It was sitting there.
I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 square foot.
Yeah.
Ridiculously. And it was one bedroom. So more than enough for one person, but like got it cartwheel twice. So stop the room to the
I was like, I
Yeah, I think you invited me to like drinks or something quite early on when we first met. So as you said, Sanya was great at getting in touch and finding different people. So my first interaction with you, and I first came to Dubai doing music, and I wasn't doing it so much so at the time of us meeting because I was hosting events with my former business partner, and someone had got in touch with me about music gigs, and I thought, more about myself than the person. How do I tell them where I am now and give them genuine, real advice that can help them? Anyway, I hadn't got around to it because the events that we were doing were like daily at this point. So feeling a bit overwhelmed and burnt out, I just think I'm going to get back to it. And a couple of days later, I thought it was a Saturday event. You'd come to Mr. Toad's. I think if that's still there in Batuta, was it? Or something? Yeah, in that hotel, Premier Inn or whatever. And this person rocks up and says her name. So I'm like, this name's familiar, but I don't see it or remember it being on the guest list. So trying to wrap my brain, then she's like, no, I'm the girl that I DM'd you, I'm like putting two and two together. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm partly, I don't know if I've told you, so I'm partly embarrassed because I'm like, now you're standing in front of me, you're like, hi, it's me. Say that. But I'm like, hi, nice to meet you.
So you tell me an initial response, but then my second...
Maybe it was a baby hype.
Yeah. And I thought, okay, there's an event today.
More me, the overthinker, was like, oh, I've got to tell her this, I've got to tell that, let me. So now she's standing in front of me. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. Can I give you a seat? So I'm going to walk you inside. And again, I've got so many things going on. I'm trying to manage the restaurant, I'm trying to manage the guests, the whatever. And I just say to my friend, like, signified, like, she's new, she did that, which I do with a lot of people, as you know now. And I'm like, take over, like, just, I'll be back. Which I genuinely intended to be back, but it got busier, more busy. And I were like,
because I saw a picture on my phone the other day.
From that
day.
You got to send that to me.
I blew like shit. No, I said because I was like, I think I saved it in my favorites because I was like, that's one and the other.
You might have to put it on screen, it's edit. And I remember just leaving you to it, but also thinking, I hope she's all right. Because again, when that used to happen at the events, you just don't know if people are sitting at a great table or they're just, you know what I mean? Or they've offended someone or whatever. So anyway, managing all of that. And you guys hit it off. And I remember you guys hit it off so well. And I was patting myself on the back so much so. They went out the following day and had a whole lunch and all kinds of things without me. Can you imagine?
Shout out Myla.
Oh, I'm about to say, you, Marlon and Pearl.
Yeah.
So you had their own little trio going on. And a couple of days later, like, yeah, we kept in touch, and whatever. And it doesn't invite me. It's actually my day off. And well, now I'm getting no invites. So needless to say, it worked out because you still stayed in touch. Marlon, shout outs to you. He is now in Rwanda doing some great things. And it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out, girl.
Please send me that picture. I don't think I've seen it from that day. But yeah, it was great. And I thought, thank God you kept in touch, number one. But number two, you followed up that message to make the connection and make friends. Because, of course, you moved to a country and whether you've done it yourself or you're thinking about doing it at some point, whether it's Dubai or anywhere else, you really do have to build community.
You really do. Yes.
And be intentional. It can be scary, of course. Yeah. And as adults, not everybody wants to now make new friends and blah, blah, whatever. But if you don't get out, especially in somewhere like Dubai that's very fast paced, it can just pass you by. Whether you're working 24/7 or you're just like, I don't really want to go out and meet new people. Even myself, guilty sometimes, but I'm like, too many humans, too many faces, too many this. That's more me now. I do love people. I want to get out and talk and socialize, but you have to force yourself to do that. You do it, you're new, and you were brilliant at that because you kept on. I don't even know if you spoke about music again for a long time because I was like, isn't that the girl that, do you know what I mean? But we spoke about so many.
The first ones that put me on stage. Do you remember that before? It was Wonders, something Wonders. It had lit up letters. And I remember the Rewrote Islands. Do you remember? Yeah, there was I don't even know if it was like the activation to the sweet. Yeah. And you were like, Sanya, do you want to perform? And I was like,
That was your first gig?
in Dubai. Yeah.
For me?
Yeah. Wow. So what had happened? Do you remember the first 5 weeks I was in a hotel, my apartment wasn't ready. I had been doing work and home. I hadn't really been anywhere apart from like around Motor City and Mall of Emirates.
Okay.
And I was like, right, I was getting ready to go into my apartment. I was like, right, I'm ready to step out and try to socialize somewhat. But I wanted to be really intentional about coming here in this, that stage of life, and not just have friends for friends' sake.
Yeah.
Not just be outside be really intentional about the type of, is it adult friends now? It's either like, I don't mean that everyone I was going to meet coming here was going to become a friend, but I actually wanted to expand my circle with quality people that I felt were really aligned with where I was at. So I was very intentional about that. And yeah, I just felt like, okay, this group, this person seems like, London, come here, meet, and I think I knew you were creative as well. So I was like, okay, this is a good start. And yeah, the rest is history, Daryl.
So really sorry your first gig.
Thank you for the warm welcome. Honestly, if I hadn't done that and your welcome wasn't so warm and we didn't connect the way we did, my path in Dubai could have looked quite differently, especially those initial stages where you're figuring it out.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to you.
Wow, this has really come full circle. And at the time, because I was connected with so many people through the events on a daily basis, you were definitely on my mind and in the back of my mind for certain things, but you think, I'll do that tomorrow, and then tomorrow ends up being 3 days, 4 days, a week. Yeah. So knowing that you did connect really well with Marlon and Pearl, I was kind of at ease that you were brought into the fold. Do you know what I mean? And not just sort of left to the whistle that is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's amazing. Thanks for sharing that.
Have we ever talked like this before? Yeah.
I thought we needed to have this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that video as well, that performance.
Yes, it did. It's to roll it all out.
So yeah, I did.
That is amazing. So years have gone by, and of course, so many things have changed, and circles and things like that. So what do you feel Dubai is like now for you, especially as a Black creative or a Black professional?
Now, I don't know if you remember when I came back when was it now? It's about a year and a half. To be honest, about a year and a half. It was the 1st of June, 2003. Yes. And I remember saying to you, it feels different. And not just because the kind of, the skyline changed a bit and there's new developments and that mall's now open and that place is now closed down, but just the circle and the energy. And the sad thing is that it's so transient and people move on. So some of the core friends I had from that Dubai phase 1, let's say, have left.
Right.
So my circle changed significantly coming back the second Sunday.
Yeah.
And I felt I had to, again, put some effort into reestablishing that. But I'm really, again, grateful that one of the core people, the first, was still there. So, that's helped a lot. So that was different. You have this, our circle then, and, some of the groups we had, even we speak about trying to bring it all together again, which doesn't happen often, right? And so that felt different. I'm not right. The social scene's changed because my circle's changed and people go to different places and there's different gigs happening now. And some of the events that happen then don't happen anymore.
It's crazy how much changed in that window. Because I remember speaking to you and checking in and wondering if you're coming back. So in that period, to fill it in for you guys, Sanya had gone to Ghana and Nigeria and then London in that period. So you've got quite a lot of experience working and traveling in different places, right?
Yeah.
And then she came back to Dubai. So many people, as you said, it's transient and you feel like, are they going to come back? So as determined as you were, like the first time, you're like, nope, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. I know what I want. I don't want to go back into teaching, but I want to stay in education and all of those things. So I was hopeful for you, but then I'm just like, but so many people that I know have gone and whatever, you know, whether they have a baby or they get married or they move to another country, going home looks very different. But you were quite like, no, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm looking for the right opportunity. And so said, so done, you know? What kind of work is it that first brought you back? So it's still working with young people and children.
I was working I got a job in an edutainment center. So again, I thought it was closer to what I wanted because it was still in education, still in the like creative industries or creative arts, but it was definitely a step closer. It was out of the traditional teaching role in a school, which I didn't want. But I knew I still wanted to kind of be in creative education. But again, the students were very young. The kids were very young. And although I'd done that and I enjoyed it, but it's not what I trained in. It's not really what I wanted to do. I liked doing it because I knew I was expanding my skill set.
Yeah, and it helps you. From what I remember, you were able to, as you are a model, you were able to incorporate that into some of those classes and you spent some of the music elements as well. So it wasn't just drama.
No, it's not at all.
Again, I just think, from my experience, I don't yet have children, but I don't know if there's many of those kinds of things in the UK or London specifically. Maybe there are. But here, I feel like there was a space for people to bring their children outside of school, because it wasn't just on weekends. It was like weekdays, daytime, evening, and weekend, where there was this creative space for art, for modeling, for podcasting even. There was lots of things for children of all ages. But you weren't there for too long, so you've then moved on again.
Yes. So I was like a founding member of that center, and it was a great experience. I did realize from that I like working with startups. Like I do like helping to get businesses off the ground and going.
Yeah.
It's nice to be part of that stage of the journey, but I didn't feel like my journey could go much further with them.
Right.
It was only young children.
Right.
And some subjects were more popular than others in terms of numbers and the classes that were happening. So like I need to be challenged. I want to be kept on my feet. I want to grow professionally. I want to grow personally.
You're a busybody.
And I
stay busy also.
I do. And I felt that it wasn't going to elevate me.
Right.
Yeah. And I think, I'd served my purpose there and it was like quite mutual between us that, okay. Yes. And then EdTech, where I am now, 8 billion ideas, which I love. I feel that was the fit that I've been waiting for. Because if you remember, like I said to you what I want in a role, and it seemed to me, even to me, it seemed really far-fetched. I was like, because you remember in Ghana, I'd worked remotely or in this hybrid way of working, which as a creative is just a dream come true, to not be in the same building 5 days a week from morning to like
corporate.
Yeah.
And the traditional Monday to Friday, start this time, end that time.
See, that often drove me crazy at teaching because I want to break free. I just wanted to break free. I'm like, I need to express myself. I need to be like outside. I just wanted a bit more flexibility in my working pattern and my work-life balance, etc. And I remember saying, I want to stay in education, but I really want to be like remote or hybrid, and I want to travel. And lo and behold,
this role is literally it.
It's all of that. It's all of that. And it's a really innovative, forward-thinking company in terms of it's like we have this curriculum we've developed that really complements the school curriculum and ensures that it's making sure that young people are future ready, which I think that is so, as an educator and someone that's worked in schools for a long time, yes, the curriculum has so many great aspects to it, but with the way, we're in a forever changing world, there are new skills that are, if we look at the world of work, like what the workplace will look like in 5-10 years time, the skill set that will be needed, does the curriculum necessarily match that? And it's getting better at that. And of course, some of the core skills that the curriculum teaches are essential, but there are some missing pieces, and that's where 8 Billion Ideas, what we call the critical curriculum, comes into it, teaching young people, delivering these experiences based around the 6 pillars, which are like entrepreneurship, sustainability, well-being, careers, performance, technology, financial literacy, etc. So I really enjoy what I do at the moment. I feel like it's where I'm supposed to be. I think it's a really good fit for me. And again, yeah, you know, when you're just like really grateful, like the way I spoke it into being.
You did. You're definitely quite a base of the GCC region, and hopefully there'll be more opportunities to. You already go back and forth to London, but you know that's great. And I mean, do you find there's lots of opportunities like that? Because 8 Billion Ideas sounds like a very unique company. And I remember when you got the role, I was like, this is literally what you manifested to you, you know?
Billions of being literally.
But outside of 8 Billion Ideas and of course your previous role, are there lots of edutainment or edtech things for schools like that out here? Because I do think education is slightly different. Again, I don't have children, but I do know there are many schools where, you know, swimming and you know, lots of different activities take place a lot earlier than what we're used to back home. Some of those things might have been, you did it in 1 year, but you didn't do it the next, or certain languages that came in maybe from year 7, year 8, year 9. But then there's some things that I hear really young kids getting involved in, or anything like that. And I'm like, when do kids have the time to do this sort of school, you know? So with you guys going in with 8 Billion Ideas, that sounds fantastic. But do you find you're able to find a lot of your creativity within that role? Or maybe is that what you do outside with your music and your modeling?
Yes, exactly. It's not as there's still a lot of creativity, but it's a different type of creativity. It's more like creative and critical thinking, and creativity in terms of like modeling and prototyping and thinking outside of the box, rather than the kind of performance creative arts type side of it. A little creative arts in the prototyping and stuff like that, but the performance arts, not so much so. But I feel that a lot of those skills I use, because the deliveries are on such a large scale. We're often in a big hall and mic'd up with the presentation behind. So the public speaking element and just the magnitude of the deliveries means that I have to deliver in a way that is bigger than teaching in a classroom.
Like
30 to 20 with the kids. When you're in a big hall, you've got to, you know, be quite animated, quite expressive, voice projection, etc., etc. So I do still get to use those skills. But again, like you said, more so, I can kind of take the creativity outside of my job and put more of that into my music and, you know, the creative, the modeling and the transformations and styling and the fashion and all of that stuff. So I actually like that
that separation.
Yeah.
And how have you even found it balancing the music and the creativity coming out here and actually having a quote unquote 9-to-5 job? You know, there are some people that I know as musicians out here who were fully wholeheartedly freelance artists and creators and dancers. And that's what they rely on. And some of them are, you know, gigging or performing 2, 3, 4 days a week. So it's like a full-time job and salary and rehearsals. Whereas on the flip side, there are other people who are in corporate or education and they wish they could do both. But you seem to have a great blend and mix of balancing ads and music videos and writing new songs. And I'm like, how? Like, you've got such a good... From the outside, that's what it looks like to me. You've got a good blend of that, you know, but in modeling here and there, and you keep it consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I try. Consistency is the challenge, and it is key at the same time. And I think when I was teaching and I was new here, I was like very eagle-eyed and just wanted to, you know, jump right in. And I did actually, but I honestly, when I think back now, I'm like, how on earth? How? Because I was doing more of the performing arts then, I would say. I think it's picking back up now in terms of like work that I've got going on behind the scenes and bits and pieces. But
like, do you have management or an agency that looks after this or brings gigs and stuff to you?
Yes, I have modeling stroke talent agent.
Fantastic.
Starting with, which is the modeling and acting side of things. But the music, no, it's more been through networking, connections, word of mouth. But like I was saying, yeah, teaching, I don't know how I'll job with it. I was tired. Of the time, I was very tired. I think I was constantly like in overdrive, and I was new and I was excited. I was just like, I'm just gonna do it and just be there and be here and juggle, crazily juggle it all. And that was part of my reason also that, okay, I want a better balance. Like I probably don't want to be as tired. So, yeah, that was part of the reason for going, right, I still want to finish education. I don't want to teach. I don't want to give so much of myself to my job. And that sounds a bit bad in a way, but, you know, I want some of me for me and my creative endeavors, which is really important to me because I'm equally passionate about it all. So it's like, I need to get the balance better. And I definitely find I've got more time now to be creative, to write, to put together my EP, to get to castings, to get on the camera, to get to the shoots. So watch your space because there's stuff coming.
We'll get to that. I was asking, you know, where's the next single dropping, Educator? So this all sounds really, really positive and balanced, but have you found as a Black British woman, as a Nigerian woman, as an educator or a creative, like, has there been challenges that you found living, working, being creative in the Middle East? Like for me personally, I didn't always find it a creative space when I first came here. There was lots of opportunity, but I felt I had to be quite palatable to an array of people because you've got someone from everywhere. Like there's over 200 nationalities. There's a big melting pot. So me wanting to sing Brandy, and I can't. Like, this what I know that people know it, but it's very niche. Yes, people know R&B, but the R&B people know and want to dance to is very much your Chris Browns or your commercial stuff. Even if it's old school, it's still catering to a wide palette, whether it's a British audience or a Arab audience or a mix of everything. So I had to do a lot of covers. I wasn't leaning into the original stuff much. And I honestly found that I wasn't able to be creative because now I'm doing what people want to hear. I'm singing the hits, I'm singing the classics, which are amazing. And to be able to sing those and learn the songs and everything was a challenge, but I felt a blessing and a curse, because especially if you're singing like the Whitneys and the Amy Winehouses and Aretha Franklin's and Shaka Khan's, like amazing songs, but I don't want to do that all the time. I want to sing my stuff. And so there's that balance of being the artist, but also now being a professional, because you're booked for a wedding, or you're booked for corporate, and you're booked for a festival. The band, you know, you've got to eat, it's your bread and butter. So that was my personal challenge.
You're right. I would definitely have more work in singing if I wasn't so focused on my original material. And I
think that's changing though. I do see yourself and a few other artists who are doing a lot of their own stuff and gigging locally and in the region and internationally. So I'm like, okay, that's changing now.
I think so, yes, absolutely. But I think in terms of the agents that I've spoken to recently, is like they want to hear you singing something they're familiar with so they can compare it. But I think it is getting better in terms of, right, well, you've got material, show us send us your track or your YouTube link, let's check it out. And a lot of the time I've been on stage, it has been my original materials, which is...
I'll see your original stuff a lot, heard it in places, seen it, obviously, videos in places, and that's a great place to be as an artist, you know? But are there any other challenges that you would say as a Nigerian, as a Brit, as a female? Like, how are you treated?
I think, you know what, the challenge, I don't even think that's just here, that sometimes people want to, they want to be able to box you in. They really want to be able to categorize you for their own understanding of who you are. And I think I'm quite hard to kind of go, because you're a teacher. Like, well, now anyway, it's like, no, I'm an educator. And they're like, okay, tell me more. What does that mean? And I tell them more, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, "I'm also creative." Okay, so I'm well, I model and I sing and songwrite, and it's like, I think sometimes it spins people's brains. It's like, okay, so you're an educator, but you're also creative. You're British, but you're also Nigerian. It's like, yeah, actually, yeah, So, and I think some people want to go, oh, well, where are you from? Is the big question here. Well, I'm from here, but I'm from here, and I do that, but I also do that. And yeah, I always think that sometimes unless I'm talking to someone that's like really open-minded or really who is also multifaceted, I do find some professionals find it a little bit hard to really understand that you do, like, one day you might be on a catwalk, the next day you might be in a classroom. Yes, that's my life. That's been my life. And I'm happy that I've been able to blend my passions really to what I love, essentially, and I'm hoping to do more of that, because that's what stirs my soul. That's what gets my fire burning.
Good. Amazing. So you've been out here, you're well seasoned, you've got great network, you're doing the thing. Do you have any favorite Nigerian spots that you found out here?
Do I have?
And by spots, it could be a range of things. Because, by the way, Nigerians have a lot of businesses here. Yeah. Whether it's clubs, whether it's brunches, whether it's restaurants, you can find a Nigerian doing something here. You guys really
up nature.
are great entrepreneurs and money where your mouth is. And don't get me wrong, there are other African businesses here. There's Ethiopian restaurants, and I've come across some Ghanaians and all sorts of stuff. But Nigerians are everywhere.
True stories. We are. My favorite spots. Back in the day, by phase one, I used to spend a lot of time at Enish. I used to enjoy being at Enish. This time around, not as much so. I'd say a variety of places that really, Kiza looked very, I like Kiza. Kiza's a go-to spot, but it's very different then to how it was now.
It's had a major.
So that was a bit of that spun my head a bit, leaving, and Kiza was like, I used to spend a real time with Kiza back in the day, coming back, and it's like, oh, you something there. I have it was you, and I was like, okay, wow. You have to kind of like, it's still the same place. It's just had a makeover. But yeah, I enjoy Kiza. I do enjoy being in spots where there's this kind of cultural vibe or energy. It's kind of African flair and flavor. It's a bit seasoned places. So, but I don't have a favorite spot. I just have a favorite type of environment that I enjoy, and being with certain types of people in certain crowds. I'd say is my favorite thing to do when I'm around, good energy, uplifting vibes, and in environments where I feel comfortable, and it's it's really about that. It is about the place, but I think that the energy and environment is also important. It's just a general vibe that I go for, and that type of person, I think, which I need to well.
I know. You got to dip it into it, and a range of tastes.
Yeah, I love a nice view. I love ambience. I love good music. I like good vibes, chilled vibes, and people that I can talk to on a level that is beneath the surface. You can go a bit deeper and have those real conversations, and spark real connections.
So what would you say your next few years look like in the UAE? Like, is this it for you, or is moving back to East London at some point a thing? What does that look like?
Why are you like Sorry. Do you know what? My sister voice noted me the other day, and she was like, okay, so what's going on? And you got anywhere else in mind? I think she was just one of those big sister check-ins. And I was like, for now, I'm here. I'm good. What could the future look like? You know what? This whole 5-year plan, man. I'm just like trying to be happy and healthy out here, trying to be comfortable, trying to live good. I'm trying to travel, make positive connections, be around, good vibes, good energy, and real people.
So you found that here, so you're happy and embracing where you're at now.
I have. I'm happy where I'm at. In the future, I do like freedom and flexibility. So if I did get a role that was completely remote, I would probably travel more. I'd still probably have this as my base. I always, as you know, want to spend more time back home, talking Nige here, not the UK. So being there, there are some projects, there's some things that I'd like to get off the ground. There's a charity there that's really close to my heart. It's a special foundation. I'd like to do a lot more work with them. It's a children's education charity, so they do their best to ensure equality within education and make sure that every child's got a chance to have access to education and a good standard of living. So I'd like to do more work with them. And digital nomad life might be something that I explore again after my time in Ghana, which was a great experience as well. So more of the creative stuff. I definitely want to tip the balance so that becomes more of what I do. But we can only, hope and pray and put our best foot forward and see it.
Nice. So if there's anyone watching or listening who may be thinking about coming out here for creative stuff or for education or a bit of both, are there any tips that you would say, maybe 2 or 3 tips that you would give someone to do or not do based on your journey before coming out here? When they get here even?
Do your research. Make sure you connect, who you're around and who you connect with. It matters so much. It has a massive influence on opportunities you're exposed to, the places you go, the conversations you have. So do your research. Use the power of social media. I'll always talk about that. Use social media to your advantage. Connect with the right people, have the conversation, send the email, send the DM, like the right, the pages that are going to inspire you, inform you, advise and guide you in what it is you're interested in. And network, get out and network, get out of your comfort zone. You're not gonna reach your full potential sitting in that comfort zone. You're not gonna grow and flow the way you should if you are sitting in that comfort zone. So that would be my key advice. Step out your comfort zone, connect with people, and do your research, put your best foot forward, and feed yourself with positivity, and not get rid of self-doubt as much as possible. I think I was watching something with you and Mon, and it's like, this place will show you what you're about.
Yes.
Who you are,
If you don't know who you are before you get to Dubai or anywhere when you leave home, literally, it will show you who you are.
Absolutely.
It will strip you down to the bones. And Dubai specifically is actually so fast-paced. So you are either in the mix or you're outside the mix that's already going on. And you kind of, like skipping, you kind of got to be ready to jump in and see what the first
with that knowledge.
Otherwise, it's going to just keep going. And I mean, that's life in general.
Yeah.
I don't really know if you compare it to anywhere. There's people say, oh, it's a bit like New York. I don't think so, because that's also another fast-paced place that has its own rhythm and its own, the people who were from there get it. And it's the same like London, I think, one.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
But it's a different
pace. Walking, yeah.
But here, it doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Listen, something is going on somewhere.
That's right.
Everything is a phone call
or a Kareem away.
That's yummy. Yeah.
Everything could come to you in an instant, whether it's gas/petrol, depending on where you're from. You want to order a can of Coke, which personally I don't, but do you know what I mean? You can get things delivered, and not out of laziness. Because I was telling my sister and someone once, like, I don't know if I should drive this way in my old community to fill up my gas tank, or if I should just... And when I was explaining it to them, they were like, that is so lazy. I was like, I should just call them to come and do it the night before I leave. So just save me the whole thing. They were like, how lazy? And I was like, that's not lazy, that's convenient, that's efficiency. Like, I'm being so serious, because I'm like, growing up, there's going to be one of these systems or things like that. So I was like, I'm not going to add an extra 10, 20, like, no, just... Do you know what I mean? And I don't use that all the time, but I do get the gas delivery service sometimes. So anyway, I say all that to say Dubai can be so convenient in that way.
Yeah. We always say like this spoil what get extra. Everything's at your fingertips. But if you use it in the right way in terms of efficiency, that's versatile. And you get doing what you need to be doing. Yeah. Something like this.
So, before we close and round up, what can we expect next? If somebody wants to check you out, do you have any singles, any creative projects, any fashion shows?
I do. Okay, so as a creative, I'm trying to step away from perfection and you know me.
I know you.
So I'm trying to do authenticity over perfection, which hopefully will speed up my productivity. Because sometimes I can get caught up on and I'm all about, I'm like keen eye for detail, and I still think the small things make a big difference and they matter. But I am getting better with that. So I say all that to say that yes, there is new material coming soon. There's new material coming soon. I have a single called Fantasy. I have a single called Soul Food. There's a lot in the pipeline. Like, there's a lot I'm working on. And I said the thing about perfection is because the reason it hasn't been released is because I am still a bit like, I don't feel that's ready. I still feel that needs to be tweaked. I don't like that bit.
I'm working with the creatives because I feel sometimes you don't always have people that listen to the original vision and then they just deliver something and this has been things. This has been I know that you've had a few challenges.
I have, and it's frustrating. And I am grateful for my creative. I have some amazing creatives that I've worked with out here, or that are just part of my support network when it comes to my creative endeavors. And they have been amazing. However, I have worked with some people that don't understand, like, they almost think I'm being too finicky. I'm being too picky. And it's not that. It's just that if I'm going to put myself out there on that kind of scale, where it's out there, it's on YouTube, it's publicly available, and I'm not comfortable with it, then it doesn't make sense to me. Or there's something that I just, either that's irking me or just... then it does.
You know what it is as well? I'm only just thinking it out loud as we're speaking, and I've known you for so long, but I always think that you've got a great eye for detail in the interior design or fashion stylist type thing. But I think you need to own the title of creative director, because when you now approach someone with that, you might not be behind the camera directing every single shot, but you have that vision, and it's not just a vision board or a storyboard on paper. You literally are able to direct things in front of the camera and, behind. So maybe that's the way to approach your next project, not as just the muse and the creative, but actually the creative director behind the whole thing from beginning to end. And that way, you're kind of more working with the production as opposed to you just being the artist. Yeah. Not that artists are below, but you know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, okay, well, this is the final say, and this is the edit, and that's what you're going to get. And I think that's invoice paid, see you later.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good point. That is a very good point that you've made. And I think I'm going to take that advice.
Because you actually do that in so many areas, as you've got a great eye.
Thank you. So yeah, some new music projects coming, and I'm trying to step away from I don't know, there was a period of like 6 months where it was like I was on the catwalk, like a lot. And I like it, but I prefer editorial.
Nice.
And so I want to step away from catwalk a bit and do more editorial. And I want to do more of the acting, like not just the adverts. Like, and that's something that's been a bit difficult here, like kind of like getting into the theatre or film industry. I feel like that there's a lot of room for growth in terms of that here. And I've got some ideas and some people I'm talking to about some stuff along those lines. So yeah, new music coming soon. And just, me in more creative spaces, doing more creative things.
Amazing. Well,
Thank you, Carl.
I have loved listening to this. I feel like I've learned much more about you, and we speak so much. Yeah, we've known each other for years, and obviously I know you went away and came back, and we've kept in touch. But this is like a great, detailed, in-depth conversation, sort of like lots of little bits and just being out and about. So thank you for taking the time to share. I hope it has been very informative and enriching to you watching or listening at home. Of course, if you want to hear more, you got to like, you got to subscribe, you got to share. Keep the love and support coming. You know, sharing's caring. And we cannot wait to see you in the next episode.
This is the Black in Dubai podcast. I'm Sanya Lerin, creative and educator. You can find me on socials, Sanya_Lerin.
Peace out.